Greetings, fellow Zetans. Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. So I've got a couple of videos that I hope I'm going to make time to get out. There's some pretty huge astrology knocking around. How are you? Loving your comments. Oh yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. YouTube is doing some weird shenanigans. My subscriber number is going up. My viewing number has gone down. So you might want to check your notifications. I don't get lost in the technicalities of YouTube, but it's making changes. So just check your notifications. Okay, guys. So I'm going to cover three things. I'm going to cover two of them in this video. And they are Mars entering Leo and the new moon in Taurus. And they're happening 19th, 20th, end of this week of May. Oh, yay. So Mars is entering Leo. And that will complete the grand fixed. I hope I've had my sound on. That will complete the grand fixed square, 0 degree. So in the last couple of days, I tuned into a very strong energy that was saying, come on, grab your coat. So I sat up, my body started producing adrenaline, correct response. And I responded to the field by saying, where are we going? Come on. That was my response. Frustration. Okay, so there's this whoosh. I'm standing in front of 15 platforms, and which train do I get on? Okay, so there's a kind of blind spot, and there's the energy to push and the challenge of absolute surrender, because you may not know where you're going. You may not know where your higher self is nudging you towards. And yeah, so I'm guided you to maybe just go hermit for a little bit over the weekend, where nobody can come into your field and really, really super tune in. So, as is my style, because I was channeling so fast, the only way for me to bring it together into some kind of synthesis is to write and write and write. So, as ever, people, tune into your body. Don't get too attached to the words. They kind of don't matter. Just listen for the words behind the words and whether there's resonance. Okay, take what lands, leave what doesn't. Mars entering Leo. This will bring Mars and Lilith together in the fixed fire of Leo. Leo is square Taurus, fixed Earth. Leo naturally squares Scorpio and Taurus. So a natural square is a 90-degree angle on the wheel. And there's lovely learning actually in squares. If you look at your natal chart and just draw from your first house, sun sign, you probably do it from rising as well, and just draw the opposition line and then the cross to that. Those squares and the opposite are kind of your lifelong lessons. I'll speak about that in the next video. So whatever is opposite you on the wheel is showing you your shadow side, the unintegrated side, the side you've yet to meet. And squares, they kind of hold you while you go, well, what is this? What is this part of me that I'm not yet bringing? So look at your squares, 90-degree angle. And I'm quickly going to recap the last video where I talked about this grand fixed square. So Jupiter at 0 degrees of Taurus. That's fixed Earth. And all of this is happening in the North Node. I'll come to that in a minute. It's forming a 0 degree square with Pluto retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius, fixed air. And opposing the South Node in Scorpio, fixed water. And the square completes now, tomorrow, Saturday, with Mars moving into Leo at 0 degrees. This is huge. So we have fixed fire. So we have all 4 elements in the fixed energy, making and completing the grand fixed square cross in all 4 signs. So the 0 degree fixed square is divinely colliding with another significant aspect that takes these quantum shifts beyond the realm of imaginings. Those messages will follow in the next video, but first let's look at the Taurus new moon. So, May the 19th or 20th, depending where you are in the world, there is a new moon happening at 28 degrees of Taurus. And it's talking to safety and stability, Taurus, the house of the building, the temple, the foundation. What are you standing on? What is the concrete beneath your feet? Physical resource, in the personal. Scorpio speaks to resource in the shared. So the challenge with this moon is finding integrity within rather than seeking it in material things. A really mundane example would be a shopaholic making themselves feel good by going out and buying stuff. But if that feeling lasts and gets cultivated, go with that. If that feeling fades away, have a look at that. Yeah, because big picture, as we step deeper into the quantum field, how do I put this? There's going to be less of the material world available to lean on. That. And so the deeper within we go, and the greater our listening skills to our energy fields, all the way up the fractal, the more elegant will be our transition between this aeon change. Okay. So it talks to self-acceptance for exactly who you are right now in this moment, whatever. And your squares will show you the shadows, the opposite will show you the shadow. Okay, we can keep looking at the sun sign, but we've all got shadow. The light needs the shadow. The shadow needs the light. It's the balance and the ownership of that. Okay. So the moon aspects are 0 degree conjunction with the sun, obs, sextile Mars, conjunct Uranus, sextile Neptune, trine Pluto. I'm not going into those. I do want to speak to the moon square Saturn. So this talks about people who are unable to express their feelings. Saturn is in Pisces, and that's giving a container to express the cosmic water of the hidden self, the deepest emotions, that tender underbelly. But that expression seeks stability, new moon in Taurus. So there's a conversation there. So Saturn is supporting our need for stability and structure, safety in how we express our most vulnerable self. It speaks to, in family life, you might artificially create too many duties. I can't believe this. I literally had this conversation recently about the honoring of the beingness and the doingness. Okay. So beingness is where we get to fully experience ourselves, and that to date generally has been the avoidance. And so we go out for validation, we go out for feel goods. But the sitting with what is where we really learn who we are, the depths of who we are, and that's going to come in the next video. So it could trigger some depression. Yeah, it's like the resistance to spirit. That's the essence of what I'm feeling. It's like the resistance to spirit creates this spiritual hunger. It's a bloody dichotomy. And in the acceptance of spirit is that absolute emotional release. It's just putting the baggage down. Okay, so see where Taurus is on your chart and what house that will be affecting. And then what I became fascinated with is there is a massive conversation going on in Taurus. I know we're nearly into Gemini season, or in Gemini season. But I want to bring the Taurus conversation because it's segueing into the next video. So what I've done is I've looked at the asteroids that are in the conversation and the planets that are in the conversation. And then I've written a Sabian story, and that's the bit I'm going to go through. So I will read. So I'll read. Bear with me. See, this is the bringing together. Bear with me. So I'll read the Sabian symbols in order of degrees of placement within the Taurus house. Okay. Are you ready? So tap into your body. So the asteroids in Taurus, I set the chart for the 22nd, are Vesta and Sedna. Okay. So we have Vesta and Sedna asteroids in Taurus. Remember, everything going on in Taurus is also going on in the North Node, or the destiny point, currently at 2 degrees of Taurus. 2 degrees of Taurus, an electrical storm. I've jumped ahead. Okay. So in order of degrees, we begin with Jupiter at 0 of Taurus. A clear mountain stream, purity, excellence, and immediate availability of the strength and power of being, refreshment, self-sustainment. 2 degrees, North Node, an electrical storm. A sensing of the power and wonder of nature's forces. Complete transformation of the implication of the all-being awe. Mercury at 6 degrees. And Jupiter at 7. 6 degrees, a bridge being built across a gorge. Conquest of difficulties and limitations by intelligence. Directed effort towards solving a problem. Channel ship. Seven. A woman of Samaria comes to draw water from the well, the gaining of perspective by a return to ancient sources of being, introspective approach to collective unconscious. Vesta, asteroid at 16. Vesta is the Roman goddess of hearth and home, holiness, wholeness, and the goddess who refused to marry. 16 of Taurus, an old teacher fails to interest his pupils in traditional knowledge. Conscious possession of greater knowledge and potentiality than can be used. Great inner fullness, spiritual loneliness. Uranus at 19 of Taurus. A new continent rising out of the ocean, potentiality for tangible self-manifestation in all beings. Overflowing originality, spontaneous, rich, creative urge. New moon at 28 of Taurus. A mature woman reawakened to romance, new perspective on life, genuine rejuvenation, the compelling charm of mature experience, rebelliousness of inner hopes. Asteroid Sedna. And the sun at 29 of Taurus. Sedna is the Inuit goddess of the sea and marine animals, the mother of the sea. Two cobblers working at a table, a symbol of discursive reason, the battle of pros and cons within the inner being, analytical, recapitulative judgment. So I looked up discursive, covering a wide field of subjects, rambling, proceeding to a conclusion through reason rather than intuition, passing from one thing to another, ranging over a wide field, roving, digressive, desultory. Okay. So that completes the Taurus conversation. Give me a minute. So this story is speaking to a rising up of something. It's speaking to a certain holiness. And so it's speaking to spontaneous activations. Sleep loss. And a big emotional clearing. I think I spoke about a year ago about the breaking of the dam, the releasing of the reservoir. It was something like that. I think it was the Taurus eclipse last year. And that's all coming through now. I can see the dam that's been holding back so much emotion, so much repressed emotion, not just from this timeline, it's very, very, very old, is releasing. Okay. So we're going to move into the second conversation that I want to bring you today, which is happening in Leo. So we have Mars entering Leo, as I mentioned at the start of the video. This will bring Mars and Lilith together in the fixed fire of Leo. Leo is square Taurus, fixed Earth. Leo naturally squares Taurus and Scorpio. So we have Jupiter, 0 of Taurus, fixed Earth, North Node, in a 0-degree square with Pluto retrograde. at 0 of Aqua, and opposing the south node in Scorpio, fixed water, and the square completes now with Mars moving into Leo at 0 degrees, fixed fire, making the grand fixed cross. Now, a 0 degree grand cross square, it's kind of the same thing, is the pen that hovers over the paper. So I've been talking ad infinitum about this 33 energy and the divine blueprint coming in. I can see it now. I can feel it now. And so there is this strong guiding note to sit, try not to get busy. It's going to be, there is already, I had a night of horror last night. And so track it. So it begins from, I can only share my experience with you. I can't tell you how to do your processing. So it usually comes in when I'm trying to sleep. So that's the mental. And then I'll wake up feeling some kind of way so that it's hit the emotional. And then I'll have a big purge. And so I'll just get it out of me, however it comes out of me. Coughing, crying, sobbing, wailing, however it wants to come out, I just let it out. So that has all happened in the last 24 hours. Okay, I'm bringing that in because this energy is going to become intense, and it's intensely loving, and it's so loving it will break your heart wide open. Okay. Because it's coming through the void. I'll cover that in the next video. So, Mars at 0 of Leo. Under emotional stress, blood rushes to a man's head. A basic symbol of man, forceful, dangerous entrance into the soul realm, 0 degrees. Irresistible outpouring of self, activity per se, of, in, or by itself, without consideration of extraneous factors, doing for the sake of doing. Intellect rules intuition. That will be the challenge. Lilith at 14 of Leo. Cherub-like. A human soul whispers, seeking to manifest. The desire to be, to suffer and to grow, which brings spirit to earth. Whole-souled self-giving, yearning for experience. It's like the soul itself is saying, I have yearned to express myself through you, fully, without restriction. Yeah. Also in Leo is the asteroid Pallas Athena, or Pallas Athena. So in Greek mythology, she was like Vesta, and this is the energy I picked up on when I was reading her, the unmarried virgin goddess who channeled her life force into creative intelligence. She's represented by owl and spear, or wisdom and war. As I feel into her energy, I get something slightly different, and it looks like Hela. It looks like Hela returned, Daddy's little warrior girl exiled from Odin's kingdom for getting ahead of herself. Feels like a daddy, just look at me now kind of energy. The misanthropic feminine is what I got there. And also we have the asteroid Sappho at 22 of Leo. Sappho refines the Venus vibration and sensitizes individuals to the emotions associated with their sexuality. Yeah, I can see this now. Linked to sexuality, sexual expression through art, she was a Greek poetess whose work evoked an awakening of intimate expression. "22 degrees of Leo, a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. The message is one of holy and divine order. The chaos of grace and the grace of chaos. A divine orchestra. A clashing cymbal or harmonious harp. Be it what it may. All is sundry. To the specific goal. Don't get distracted. That's what I get from that. Watch out for the superfluous and extraneous. Thank you. So, an awakening of sexual expression. Back to the carrier pigeon, fulfilling its mission, the return of soul energies to the central self after a significant experience. Adventuring, practical enlightenment. Practical enlightenment. Not alchemical, practical, here, now. I made a pen. All right. Okay. Where am I going? I'm going here and I'm going there. What's that? Oh, God. I'm going to show you the back of these cards as well. Okay. So we have the star tetrahedron, the Merkaba, flower of life, original seed coding. So, adventure. The adventure begins, and it really feels like a beginning in this zero energy. The five has to disrupt. I've got it. Yeah. Yes. Chaos, grace, grace, chaos. But there's balance. The 55, 10, 1 becomes initiatic. And the 55 might want to look both ways at the same time. That's okay. It might want to look in many different directions at the same time. It's trying to synthesize a new, it's like new wiring. And sometimes we build new wiring when we've blown a circuit or when we've tried to push an electrical connection that is out of alignment with the soul. What was that? Naga coding's coming through. Bear with me. Ah, okay. I'm being reminded to point you towards. So I was given some advice by a mate of mine, Helen from Angel Wings Holistics. Check out her YouTube channel, Angel Wings Holistics, on her website. And Helen, we were having a chat, and Helen said it might be an idea for you to pull your soul star chakra down lower towards the crown. And it's really helped with my inness and outness. It's really helped. I also brought my stellar gateway down, just so it's not closer, because dimensionally it's linear. I'm describing something that's linear, but that's rubbish. I just brought it in closer. So 55, Advent, the advent of your life. God, that was cheesy. The advent is, so we're on the precipice. This just really does feel like stop what you're doing. So, yeah. My dad came in this morning with a reminder of when he used to say to me, darling, stuff is trying to land all the time. You have to sit still. That was when I was in my hot-headed 30s, trying to harness fire and just burning the world. I'm getting impatient. We have to sit. We have to sit. It's like there's like a holy communion going on at the moment. There's a partnership trying to happen. My initiation this morning was huge. I feel so much better. But it was huge, and it came in on that 33 energy. And it's just going to keep rolling now. May will just ramp in energy. And so the adventure begins as you spin your Merkaba and travel on your terms. This is singing to personal responsibility. Yeah, I've got some Jungian psychotherapy coming in, and it will take me an hour to explain it. It's just so wonderful, but it's about the projection of shadow. This is the antithesis. This is the medicine for the projection of shadow. This is to shine the light within. It's to bring that staff of authority back and to lead with it, to walk with it, to build with it. And that might mean displeasing others. It will definitely mean displeasing others. But that will sort the wheat from the chaff, because soul groups are changing radically, unless they're not, because this is all elective. You know, there's going to be mandatory shifts. It's how we experience them, or whether we experience them. We can stay holding the 3D as it is, it's fine. Or we can wander aimlessly in the void and go on an adventure. This speaks of the fool. It's kind of the fool into the magician. It's that bridge there where we start, where we pick the pen up and we start to write. And I'm being shown the fool as the batelier, which is the fool who has returned home from battle. And God, it's been tough, and the soul washing has been brutal. And what that's done is dissolved all of his ego, so that he can become the fool, the jester, the one that doesn't take all of this personally or seriously. He's encountered every wound there is, he's done, and his wounding has made him. Okay. And so with the experience and the wisdom and the learning from his wounding and his joy and all the other stuff, he goes out on this new adventure, leading with what he's learned rather than what he has swallowed wholesale from the external world. The adventure and leadership is about what you've vomited up. It's about what you've found in the rubble. It's literally harnessing your own gold. Okay. To set out and create new beginnings for yourself. This is beautiful. I'm not sure we need any more, do we? Yeah, okay. I'm just going to do a couple of tarot cards. I don't want to look at this. Let's see underlying. The world. Strength, right way up. Okay. Are there any closing messages, please, for this? Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. 4 major arcanas. So we have the world. This is the wrapping up of a massive cycle. What did you learn? How have you recoded your platonic solids? How have you reshaped your DNA? What was your experience? Where's your wisdom? What are you taking forward with you? And other expansive questions. In fact, is there a question? Is there a question for the world? Question for the world. Thank you. Fantastic. What do I believe about myself in this? I'm getting, look at the last 20 years. What's the big learning? What are the big cycles that you've completed in the last 20 years? Okay. No, come this way. Look how seductive he is. Come this way. I can expand your grief. I can keep you spinning around in that mental torture. Yeah, absolutely. Grab the devil, kiss him hard on the mouth and say, we're done. Take the experience, rise. To rise, you got to let go. You got to let go. Or continue to howl at the moon. It is a choice. Absolutely, it is a choice. Okay. 8, it's 28 into 28 degrees. Yeah, you might have to take a bit of a dive into your waters. to find that. It's within us all. If there's light, there's shadow. Nothing bad. There's no shaming. He's a teacher. That's a teacher. Without the devil, we could fall into delusion, thinking everything's fine. The devil just keeps snapping that elastic band on the wrist. Okay, now this is coming out with an underlying card. And another underlying card. So the Five of Wands speaks of don't give up. It's that kind of feeling. Traditionally, it's like mental conflict, but this is like find another solution. So I do a lot of work with the military, and one of their mottos is adapt, improvise, and overcome. Don't take it personally, or you won't be able to get creative. Okay. That's interesting. There's a weird energy with this card. What's the word with this card? Glib? Frippery? Okay. What I'm getting is she has the bird kingdom whispering to her. She has the light bulbs, okay, ready to get turned on and used. And she's reading this book where the words are just dissolving. And so which direction is she going to go in? Yeah, there's the commitment. There's the commitment. It's Holy Communion. Two of Cups speaks to deep commitment. She's going to throw the book away because that was written way back then in a different time by a different person. And she's going to use her light bulbs and listen to the birds to write her own book into being, to write her own soul into being on her terms. Self-managing leadership. So that she can operate her own chariot, keep her balance between the light and the shadow and the speed, because it's going to get fast. It's going to get fast. Fabulous. And yeah, Two of Cups. Okay, guys, that is it. I want to get the other video out today. I will endeavor to do that later on. Okay, I'm leaving you with much love. Can I invite you please to hit the like button? Obviously drop me a comment and share, subscribe, do all the clicky things. And welcome new subscribers again. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all again soon. Much love. Bye.